Good morning, Read 180 students. Today is Thursday, February 4th, and we're going to be starting a new informational text today. It's called A Killer Strikes. Just for the sake of time, I'm going to just kind of go flip through the screencast. I know some of the Zoom kids, you weren't able to join us today. We were having internet problems, and we couldn't even use our own slides, which was kind of a pain. So I'm going to get this done real quick for you and sent out so you have this information so you can do your assignment for today. So you'll notice, again, we're working on lesson 5.8, pages 254 and 255. Now, if you notice on page 254, our learning target is that we're going to analyze what the text clearly says and make inferences about what the text does not clearly say. That's called making inferences. We will identify important events in a text and cite evidence. So previewing this, if you looked at your pictures on page 254, you'll see there it looks like there's some reporters, somebody's interviewing a man. And in this story, A Killer Strikes, you will join epidemiologist Dr. Scott Dowell as he rushes to stop a deadly disease before it spreads. So we're going to read, after we do the two vocabulary words, we're going to read the first part of the story today, and we're going to learn about an expert's investigation of the bird flu, and we're going to explore what we can infer from the text. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the word rare. So when I use rare in a sentence, tickets to popular concert tours can be rare and hard to find. So as we go through these next slides, I'd like you to fill in page 254. Rare means not often seen or found. And the example would be, have you ever seen something extremely rare? I think of like rare coins or rare picture, rare artifacts. So something extremely rare that I have seen is what? And again, it could be something in person. It can be something maybe somebody brought to show you. Maybe you saw it on TV. Our next word is assign. And this sentence, if I use it, one student has been assigned, given a job to take a note to the principal. And to assign means to send someone to a place for a job or responsibility. So on page 254, where you saw those reporters talking to that person, it's probably these people have been sent to a specific place, like a country, a town, a state, and it might be for their job or responsibility. Like in this case, Dr. Dowell was sent there because he's an epidemiologist. The interviewers with the microphones are probably reporters. So I want you to look at this example. Would you want a job that would assign you to travel somewhere you have never been? So finish this sentence. A job that would assign me to travel somewhere new would be, how would that make you feel? Would it be exciting to you? Would it be scary? Would it be exhilarating? Would it be enjoyable? So how would it make you feel if you had a job that they would just say, you're going here next week, and then you would have to pack your bags and go? All right, so we're going to read through here. And again, at any point you can stop the recording so you can do the work. So we've watched a video and we've read about viruses that can be spread from one person to another. Did you know that humans can also get viruses from animals? Today's reading tells about an outbreak of a disease that started just like this. We'll also get to read about one doctor whose job it was to stop the spread of this deadly disease. Now, before we start reading, I would like you to look at the top of page 255 and look at the key idea question. And keep this in mind as we're reading. Why is Dr. Dowell in such a hurry? So be prepared to answer that question when we get done reading the story. All right, A Killer Strikes by John D. Consiglio. Now you'll see in the picture too, they have a picture of a globe and they have a little red marker on the country of Thailand. A girl and her mother die of the flu and an expert is asked to find out why. Dr. Scott Dowell raced in a jeep to the tiny village of Srisambun, Thailand. He was rushing to stop a killer before it killed again. It was September 2004, An 11-year-old girl had fallen ill. At first, it seemed like a bad case of the flu, but the girl kept getting sicker. Then she died. Her mother died too. Dr. Dowell knew that in some places in Thailand, chickens run freely through homes. Some were even kept as pets. He feared that the little girl and her mother had died from a rare bird flu. If Dr. Dowell was right, it could mean big trouble, not just for the Thai village, but possibly for the whole world. Top of page 255. The disease fighter. Dr. Dowell is an epidemiologist with the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, or the CDC, in Atlanta, Georgia. That's a U.S. government agency that tracks and combats daily diseases around the world. Dr. Dowell is often assigned to live in a foreign country. He helps solve problems that cause diseases to spread, such as bad sanitation. He was assigned to Thailand in 2001, but before then he battled Ebola in Africa and SARS in Asia. In 2004, Dr. Dowell started keeping an eye on flu viruses that could spread out of control. A medical mystery. The type of flu that most concerned Dr. Dowell was avian influenza or bird flu. This virus usually strikes poultry like chicken and ducks. It's rare for bird flu to make people sick. In fact, by 2003, only about 40 people had died from bird flu. All of them had gotten it from handling sick birds. Had the little girl gotten sick with bird flu? Dr. Dowell wondered. Had she given it to her mother? If the bird flu had mutated or changed so that humans could pass it to other humans, it would be a health disaster. Anywhere a sick person traveled, he or she could make others ill. Thousands, perhaps millions of people could die. Dr. Dowell had to find some answers, and fast. All right, so now I want you to take a minute and I want you to answer that key idea question. Why is Dr. Dowell in such a hurry? So as I read, I learned that Dr. Dowell suspects that 2 people in Thailand have died from bird flu. The text says that this could be big trouble. Dr. Dowell is an epidemiologist, and we know that is someone who studies how diseases are spread and controlled. He must be in a hurry because why? Why do you think? Now we're going to make some connections before we move on. So Dr. Dowell has a hugely important job, and he must be a skilled epidemiologist if the CDC trusts him to battle the deadly diseases and keep them from spreading. But even though Dr. Dowell is so knowledgeable, he still doesn't know for sure what is happening when he arrives in the village. The text even says he needs to find some answers. Part of what makes him such a good epidemiologist is how hard he works to stop these diseases. If he gives up, lives could be in danger. Okay, so now we're going to do the making inferences and the react and write, and then we'll be wrapped up for today. This question asks us how to make an inference about how the bird flu got its name. So it says, why is this disease called bird flu? So if you go back into paragraphs 8 and 9, it describes how this virus is related to birds. As I read, I want you to underline the parts of the text that describe what birds have to do with the virus. All right, so paragraph 8. The type of flu that most concerned Dr. Dowell was avian influenza or bird flu. This virus usually strikes poultry like chicken and ducks. It's rare for bird flu to make people sick. In fact, by 2003, about 40 people had died from bird flu. All of them had gotten it from handling sick birds. So go back, pause this recording, and answer, why is this disease called bird flu? And then I want you to go to paragraph 1, and we're going to underline the action verbs in paragraph 1. And then you're going to answer this question. What word helps you best infer or kind of make a guess how Dr. Dowell is feeling in paragraph 1? All right, so Dr. Scott Dowell raced in a jeep to the tiny village of Sisramboon, Thailand. He was rushing to stop a killer before it killed again. Now there are 3 action verbs in here. I would like you to underline, if you did not, make sure you underline the words raced, rushing, and killed. All right, so once you finish the react and write, I would like you to take a picture of these 2 pages and submit it to Schoology for today's assignment. And then again, here's just a reminder of your tasks for today. All right, and again, if you Zoomed and we had technical problems, I'm really sorry about that. Just do the best you can, and we will see you when you're in the building. Have a great day.